this is Retired Geek Woman Adventures with Rhiannon, Stardew Valley 1.5 Retired Slow Play, part number 53. We are going to start where we left off, which is day number 4 of winter in year number 2. And as always, we say good morning to our Harvey and head on outside to get our chores done. And look at this snowy morning. Oh my goodness, it is snowing. And I don't like snow. I'll take it in a game every once in a while, but it's okay. For what we're doing today, it don't matter. We're going to go run around and get all our chores done. Make sure we pet the cat, water the bowl, not the other way around like I have done way too many times. And as you can see, we've got our fences open. There's no need to close them right now. The barn and the coop are shut, and that way the animals can't get out in the wintertime, which is fine. They don't go out anyway. You could leave it open or shut it. It's a role-playing thing for me to go ahead and shut it, and just my way of saying, hey, you guys stay nice and warm all winter long. And we're going to go ahead and pop our milks in there, grab a cheese, and come on into the coop. Run around and say good morning. It's so much easier to pet all your animals in the morning, or in the wintertime, because they're all cooped up in here, no pun intended, because you can run around, give them a little bit of love, and they're all happy for that. The result is that you will get higher quality products from them, and you can see there that I got a iridium quality dinosaur eggs, feather, a couple of regular eggs, and so that's all a result of those high relationships. And I love those iridium quality duck feathers. Like, thank you so much. They bring us so much money, and we don't get them very often. So I think I've got one tucked away in storage, but I love it. I love it when we get them. And of course, we're going to check our greenhouse in the morning. That's coming along pretty well. The ultimate goal is I'm going to have 3 plots of 24 of the ancient fruits, and I will have 1 plot of star fruit, and those will be used for making wines. Eventually, that's the only wine we'll be making. Right now, we're just going to make everything that we have. Again, this is a new addition to our morning chores, just to run down to the cellar, see if anything's ready. Anything that's got, what's the word I'm looking for? Iridium quality, iridium stars on it means it's ready. So you can see everything is cranking away there. Eventually, I'll have way more casks in there. It'll be filled end to end pretty much. But what I normally do is each row, I count how many are in each row, and I put the same thing in each row. So like if I'm doing cheeses, the whole row will be cheeses. If I'm doing wine, it's going to be wine. But at this time, we don't have enough to accomplish that. So we're going to go ahead and just every time we get something, and if we, anytime we have an opening, we're going to put something in it, and then we'll put the extras in the chest by the door, and that'll be coming up soon, but it'll be organized soon. In the meantime, it's going to make us a bunch of money. You're going to see the gold totals go up relatively quickly when those start processing. So that's going to be one of our huge revenues, is going to be that cellar. And I was very excited that I was able to go ahead and upgrade to that. I hadn't planned on it necessarily being before the end of year 2, but we had the money and not anything else that we absolutely positively had to spend it on. So that's why I went ahead and went for it, and I'm glad that we did, because that's going to exponentially increase our monies. So as you saw in a previous episode, we have started kind of creating our paths for the farm expansion and organization. And this area off to the right, what that's going to be is we're going to be growing fiber, and you can actually grow fiber year-round. So once we get going and we get everything we need to make the fiber and kind of get ourselves organized, we're going to start growing it, because we're going to start using a whole bunch of it as a resource. And we've collected a good bit along the way, because we found some each time you use your scythe on the grasses, you get some sometimes. So we've got quite a bit in savings, or in our stored away, but eventually we're going to need a lot more. I love it that I can take my pathway all the way down to the exit there, so I can, when I'm looking, that's all I see. And it's like, oopsie doopsie. So I'm kind of, what I'm doing is going off basically of the pattern of an 11-year farm that I had, and I really do like the layout of it. It looks, I like the way that it looks, so I will be doing mostly that exact same thing, and then with a few possible exceptions of changing a few things around. So for now anyways, I'm going to start working on creating that that layout as much as I can. I am going to be doing some screenshots of a couple of things. One thing I'll be doing is kind of our before and after. So I do have a screenshot of the farm day number 1, and I don't remember if I showed that in a previous episode, but I will be showing that periodically compared to where we are in the present moment. And it's really kind of amazing to watch the transformation of the farm. And so that's kind of to me that's exciting. It shows progress. That tree that's over there right now, the only reason it's there is because it's given us sap or something, and so it's going to be sitting there for a while. But eventually we're going to chop it down, and like I said, that's going to be our fiber growing area. So at this time, one task that we have been trying to accomplish is that Gus wants a lobster. And the way you get lobsters is you put crab pots in the ocean area, and then you check them each day, and you either have other things or you might have a lobster. So we're trying to get lobster. I double checked to make sure that I had them in the right placement. And as far as I know, they're supposed to be in ocean water. And then, so I'm keep checking them. The reason why I grab my fishing pole and my bait is you have to rebait them. If you take something out of the pot, then you have to rebait them again. So instead of keep buying from Willie, which is fine, it doesn't cost very much, I thought I'll just use my own. And so we got driftwood and a mussel. So we're still not getting the lobsters. So I don't know why, but and it doesn't seem to have a time thing on it. The quest doesn't. A lot of quests do, but this doesn't. It just seems to be there indefinitely. So we'll just keep trying until we get one. I guess it may take a little bit of time, but that's okay. We got all the time in the world. This is a retired slow play. I mentioned that a number of times because I don't want people to start watching it and stop watching it because they think it's going too slow. I'm giving you a heads up right now. This is a retired slow play. I'm very laid back, and I don't push it. I'm not power gaming or min-maxing or any of those things. I'm retired in real life, and I'm more interested in enjoying the journey, which is exactly what I'm doing. There was a few things that I wanted to accomplish by the end of year 2, and quite frankly, I think I've accomplished all of them. So I'm very excited about that. And there's a big surprise that happens. I think it happens either the night of the last day of the year or the morning of the first day of the 3rd year. I don't remember which. Very exciting. Something's going to happen. I'm really excited for those who haven't played this game and haven't seen it happen. And I have a reason why I wanted to accomplish those certain goals before the end of year 2. Now, having said that, going forward, I will definitely have goals in mind that I want to accomplish. That's, I think, how you keep motivated to play. So I've got lots of things that I want to do, but there were only certain things in a certain time frame that I wanted to accomplish, and I'm really glad that I finally was able to get those things done. So we are in good shape for the next year. And so again, we run down there, no lobsters, so that's okay. We'll put our goodies away. You can see I'm collecting coral. Coral and oak resin make deluxe speed grow, which I almost absolutely must have deluxe speed grow. Notice I have a recycling bin down there. We can throw in any trash except for the JoJo cola cans, which bugs me still, and recycle them into useful products. And so we're going to do that, and you can see each time you put something in, it gives you a specific thing back. So it's definitely worth having that, and continue to recycle our stuff and get good stuff. And we've got ore out of that thing, and all kinds of things that I can't. Oh, we got wood. I think driftwood gives you wood. So hey, that's all stuff that we wouldn't have. We have to collect anyway, right? So we are going to get some more stone and make some more pathways and continue to work on this layout of our farm. I've said it many times in previous episodes. I think that wintertime is just the best for being able to make design changes to your farm. You don't have to worry about your crops. You don't have to worry about anything. If you don't want to go in and collect eggs and milk and all that, you don't even have to do that. You can focus singularly on the redesigning of a farm, and you can see this is perfect time. In my opinion, you can see things better. So anyway, I'm just going on about that. But I've said this before, but I think winter's a really good time to kind of, if you're going to redesign, winter's a good time to do that because you can see better and you don't have anything else that you absolutely have to do. So that's what we're going to kind of work on this. Again, I'm working off of a basically a pattern of my 11-year farm, on which was a collection of ideas that I got from the forums. There's a wonderful Stardew Valley forums. There is a link in my description to those forums, and I definitely encourage you to get on those forums, create an account, and talk to the amazing people there. One of the areas that people, there's a place on the forums where you can post, showcase your forums, do screenshots of them. So what I had done is kind of looked at all of the ones that were the same farm layout. This is called, I think, the standard farm, which is this, it was the original one, I think, and it was just a basic, great big square, which I had started with something else the first time I started playing and realized very quickly it wasn't going to fit from my idea of what I wanted to do, so I moved to this one, or I started over with this one. So anyway, I looked at all those farms, those standard layout farms, and looked at for ideas, and I just kind of put a combination of ideas together, how I ended up with my farm that I have. And it's a fully functioning farm. I think it looks fine, and so that's kind of what I'm going to be doing. That's my goal, is kind of to follow along with that, basically, and you know, create a farm that looks like that. I'm starting off with these cobblestone paths because I don't have the recipe yet for the one that I really like, which if you look at the 11-year farm, you'll find a picture of that, and I have a playlist of game reviews and initial gameplay and game reviews. And I did one for Stardew Valley, and it includes screenshots of that 11-year farm. And if I think of it soon here, I'll try to give some examples, show it to you here on a video so that you can see what that looked like. And so that's my pattern. I want to keep saying that because that's kind of, you know, patterns are to be used as kind of an idea, and that's kind of what I'm doing. So more or less, that's what I'm doing, is kind of coming along and doing these pathways pretty much the same. I am using the cobblestone path, and what I started to say and stopped myself in mid, I went kind of an ADD direction there, is eventually I'll have, I think it's called weathered wood, or I can't remember what it's called. There's a different pathway, and on that farm I keep talking about that you can see the image of, that's the pathways that I have. But for now, these will work and get us around. In case you do not know, you walk faster on pathways than you do on non-pathways. So, and no, I don't want to go into the coffee discussion, but it works to get me around the farm a little bit faster. Plus, it looks really nice. The other thing that it does is it keeps the weeds and grass from growing into crops and growing into places you don't want it to grow. So, very useful and makes the farm look nice. And kind of, to me, it kind of designates certain areas to be certain things. So I just like the way that it looks, and that's why I use pathways to kind of mark some things off. So as you can see, it's already 8:50, and I think that we've made some pretty good progress today and putting away our resources, but we're keeping these, the kiln and the furnaces cranking. We've got some things that we need to make that require ores, and we need to keep them going as much as possible. And I know I walk by them sometimes and forget to do it, and shame on me. So anyway, we're going to put everything away. We've got a few pieces of the cobblestone left, and we're definitely going to be using a lot more of that. And So we'll get oh, it's stone is the thing. We need to make sure we have plenty of stone, and keep working on those pathways and keep getting our areas marked off. You see, it's not quite 10 o'clock, and Harvey goes to bed at 10, and so I'm going to go ahead and call it a day on the 4th of the year and get some rest. And let's see, we leveled up mining, and we can make crystallariums. Now that I find that to be interesting. I guess anytime you use your pickaxe, it's considered mining. So I either didn't remember that or it just slipped my brain. So anyway, I was really happy to see that. Day 5 of winter in year number 2. So we're going to continue on our day. I wanted to look at this. I've got 3 skills at level 10. I've got combat at 8 and mining at 9. And it's on my list to reach level 10 of all my skills, but I'm not freaking out about it, or it doesn't have to be within a certain time, but it is on my list to keep working on those skills and get to level 10 on all of them. We got some mail, and okay, iridium bar. So the wizard wants an iridium bar and will pay 5 times the market value. And you know, I thought about this, and it's like, I think I have 1 iridium bar that I've kind of been hanging on to kind of be a placeholder in my inventory. So while I was doing my morning chores, that's what I'm thinking about, what I'm going to do about that, because I don't have any more ore yet. I think you can get it in very low levels of the mine, but I haven't done that yet, so I'm not sure about that yet. So I was thinking about it, and also thinking about the fact that I've only got 2 animals in here. Supposedly, I don't know why I haven't had any babies. It's been almost 2 years. There's been no babies born, and I can't seem to. There we go. Get out of the way, Clara. There's Nanny. I know Nanny has. I don't know why I'm trying to milk Nanny. I know Nanny has no milk. So I was curious why there had been no babies. Someone had suggested that it's because I only have 1 of each, and only 2 animals. So they suggested that I get more. So I'm going to think about that. I want eventually that barn will be full of animals. Obviously, it's really easy to do with the coop because you just put eggs in the incubator, and you can incubate all you want, all the babies that you want. So I'm just not sure what to do about that. I'm going to think about that for a while and try to make a decision. I kind of like them to be spontaneously born because that's free money right there. They give you more milk and stuff. So I don't know. We'll see. I'll have to think about it a while. In the meantime, we'll go ahead and do our morning chores. If you have never watched one of my episodes, I encourage you to go to my community tab. That's where there's going to be announcements and polls and things like that. And I did a poll asking everyone if they wanted to see these morning chores or if they prefer that I cut them out of my videos. And so far, the answer has, the poll says everybody wants to see it and leave it in. So if you have a different opinion, if you'd like to see my announcements and things that I have to say and questions that I ask of my subscribers, please go to the community tab and check it out. My About tab has my upload schedule. So it shows what games I'm currently playing and what days I upload videos. And so far, I've stayed very consistent with that, and I will do my very best to continue to make sure I'm very consistent. As I mentioned, we've got this additional, I saw that we had our pickled somethings were ready, so that's very exciting when that happens. And we don't have any empty casks, so we're going to pop our cheeses in there. We'll be doing that with the wines too. Like I mentioned in the beginning, we're going to process all wines until we end up with way too many of the just plain basic cheap wines. If we end up with too many of those, then I'm just going to throw them in the shipping bin. Eventually, we'll be making a lot of specified wines down in the cellar. So I'm very excited about that. Oh, look, that another oak resin. Thank you. So at this point, I haven't decided. I really want to start collecting all this oak resin to make the deluxe speed grow. So for the springtime, I don't know how much I will need for sure, because I don't know how much I'm going to expand the current growing area. You can see that I've kind of put the markings, the pathways of how big the eventual planting area will be. I just don't know if and when I'm going to be expanding that out. So it just depends, but hopefully I'll have a look at that. I made 25 speed grows from what I currently have, so I'm going to be continuing to make that and keep tucking it away in our little spring chest over here. So that makes 29. That's not going to really cut anything close to what we'll be planting, but it's kind of good that we're getting started on it. And anytime I collect those resins after I get so many, I'll just do what I just did, make the deluxe speed grow and put it in our chest there. So eventually I do keep track of, I have a Microsoft OneNote that I use for my gaming notes, and I had planned out a long time ago when I had a fully functioning farm how many of each crop that I needed for each season and what crops I wanted to grow. So I will probably do that again, and that also tells me how much speed grow I need to have. Once you plant that speed grow, if you plant something right after whatever has been growing stopped growing, then you don't have to redo the speed grow. So we'll see how that goes. Again, this is early game, which I have not played early game for a very, very long time. I know that Stardew Valley came out in 2016, or I think 2016. I started to say that and then I doubted myself. I think I started playing not too long after it came out. So my son had told me about it, and I listened to him because he knows what kinds of games I would enjoy. It's amazing how in tune he is to the things that when I talk to him about games. He is a game designer. He's a lead sound engineer for a major gaming company, and on a major game, well, he works with many different games with that company, but he's so in touch with the gaming industry, and he's in touch with the things that I tell him that I enjoy. So when I don't know what I was talking about with him when this conversation came up, but he'd said, hey, you should try this Stardew Valley game, and I'm pretty sure that was either the year of or the year after that it got released. And it was just a wonderful suggestion. This is my second most played game in my Steam library, and that's saying, and that's a very old Steam library. So that's saying quite a lot, and I don't even remember how many hours I've played. It's a lot, because I enjoyed this game so much. It's so, as you can see, it's so relaxed. There's a little bit of fighting in the mines, but not a whole lot. So, I don't like fighting in games hardly at all. It's a matter of, do I have to kind of thing. This one you kind of have to if you want to accomplish 100% completion of a game. And there's a way to know that on this game. And if you don't, you wouldn't go into the mines at all. You wouldn't care. But in my case, 100% completion is the goal of this game that I'm currently playing. So I did decide I'm going to go ahead and give that bar to the wizard, and I want to keep working on the relationship with the wizard anyway, and that iridium bar, it's like, okay, I'll get another one at some point for sure. So we'll just keep working on that, but in the meantime, let's go make good friends with the wizard. It's worth it to give him this bar. So, and as we're on the way, we're going to see the wormy thingies that we just walk right past. Ugh, it's so embarrassing to watch your own play, because you make mistakes. You walk past things you shouldn't walk past. Traveling cart. I always check the traveling cart, but I never buy anything from it. Cave carrot for 400. No. Every once in a while, though, if you are specifically looking for something that you can't, like a coffee bean, for instance. You could have bought one for 2,500, or we found one for free in the mine one day. So we got a coffee bean, and that's all we need. And in the springtime, you will see why that one coffee bean is sufficient. For me, anyway. I'm not a coffee connoisseur, but I do want to grow it because it's Harvey's favorite thing. So let's have a little chit chat with the wizard. First, I always say something. I believe the town folks are afraid of me. Well, you're weird. It's unfortunate, but I suppose it's human to be afraid of the unknown. That is true. So let's give him this thing and see what happens. Ah, precious iridium. You're well done, Rhiannon. You have my gratitude. Cool. And he gives us wizards creating a staff. 5,000? 5,000? He gave us 5,000? Holy tamale. Let me show you this book in case you haven't seen a previous episode. He had this book as a gift last time. Look at this Junimo hut. 20,000 gold, 200 stone, 9 star fruit, and 100 fiber to create a Junimo hut. The Junimos are those little people that we saw in the community center, and they will harvest your crops for you. There are also these obelisks. The obelisks warp you to these various locations, and there's a golden clock for 10 million that we'll eventually get late in the game. But the Junimo hut is our first goal. So we need to make sure we're collecting those resources. Looking at the pattern of my farm, we're going to have at least a couple of Junimo huts in the growing area, which makes it so much better, faster. You basically plant your stuff, and then you go into the little hut. We'll put a little bag outside the door of the stuff that they have harvested for you. And they harvest every day of those 3 seasons except for rainy days. Rainy days they don't, and I don't care on those days. I don't worry about it. I don't go back and harvest because they haven't. It's not a big deal to me. I don't care at that point. Money will be sufficient at that point. So I'm not worried about it. They'll get it when they get around to it. And they're so cute, and I really appreciate them. And they're cute little characters. And I'm glad that the last that we saw of them wasn't just the when we completed the community center. So we'll get to see them again eventually. So I don't know when we'll get to that, but we will. But I keep wanting to show that to you guys. That's going to be one of my upcoming goals. On the way back home, decided to just get a few resources here. Again, we need stone, we need wood. I'm really glad I'm finding coal too. And of course geodes, obviously. But coal is one of those resources that we don't find a ton of in the game, but we can make our own with wood. So that's why wood is so good to have around. And we'll just keep collecting that. And also these forageables, which I don't know what any uses for crocuses. I don't know that people like them particularly. And walk right past. I don't know. The thing in the wintertime, I want to talk about these wormy the artifact spots. It seems to me in the winter, 99% of the time, you're getting things I don't care about, like the snow yams, and I can't remember what the other things are. The winter roots. I mean, I don't know what those are used for. I don't know if they're using any, I'm sure they're using a recipe somewhere along the way. I don't think that people typically like them, so it kind of annoys me. So I kind of tend to ignore the artifact spots in the winter. I know I shouldn't do that because you might get an artifact. That's the whole point of them. So anyway, it's just a thing. So when I got back to the farm, I thought, you know what, let's do some more cleaning. I'm kind of pondering what I want this to look like. I've got these mushroom trees growing off to the right there. You can see them. And mushroom trees, prior to 1.5 update, which happened last year in at the time I'm recording this, it happened last year, 2022, I think. The only way to get your mushroom trees where you wanted them was to basically propagate them. So you can see that they're growing there on the right. If I want them to grow to the left, let's say I want a tree all the way to the left against the side there, I need to make sure there is nothing next to the mushroom tree that is growing, because a seed from it will drop and then the next tree over will grow, and when it matures it will drop seeds as well, and when that matures then the next one, and that's how you kind of move your mushroom trees along your farm. With the 1.5 update, you can actually purchase mushroom seeds at a special location, which you all haven't seen yet if you have not played this game, and I'm not going to spoil it for you. So it became less important that you propagate your mushroom trees. So I'm still not cutting them down. I'm letting them grow just because I don't know how long it's going to be until we can get to that special location that I was talking about. And I don't know if I want to wait for them to plant the trees where I think I want them. So anyway, I'll keep propagating them, moving them along, Just know there's another way now, which I thought version 1.5 update was incredible. I really thought that it was more like a 2.0. It added people and landmass and quests and all kinds of stuff. I was shocked when I heard about the update, and then when I updated my game, my 11-year-old game, it's like, are you kidding me? This is like a whole nother game. So it was pretty amazing. So if you download it now, that's the version that you will get. As of this recording, it has been ported to mobile devices, so iPads and whatever. I think all of the different ways you can play. Of course, I'm not in touch with all of the gaming systems and things. All or most of the various ways that you can play the game, you can play it by downloading the 1.5 version now, which is amazing. And supposedly, if you let's say if you've been playing an iPad and you have the older version, you can now continue your game on with the 1.5 update. You don't have to start over again, which would be hundreds of hours of play. So here we go. Let's look at this amazing up $18,000, 18,000 gold. Pickled pumpkin, 690 each, and we had 21 for 14,490. So that is why we have preserve jars and wine kegs and casks, and I mean, all of this is going to help us. Look at that, 59,000. Amazing. So that's going to be how we do our money. So that's how we're going to get those big jumps like that periodically. What? Dear, can't you tell you're Harvey? What? What? Oh my gosh. Harvey says I'm pregnant. What? What? Oh my gosh. Linus is sending us a largemouth bass. Okay. That took me by surprise. Again, I have not started this game over for a very long time. I got off track when I was talking about this. I don't have any largemouth bass, so I guess we better put one in there. I did not remember that. I'm pretty sure that the last time that that had happened had to have been more than 5 years ago. I'm sure of it. So it was like, what? Harvey, and quit trying to milk the cat. It doesn't work. Oh, goodness. What a shocker, and how funny. It cracked me up. I was like, what? So, and I've always played a female character in a game. Once I started being able to do that, that's what I did. Because you can hear my voice. You can tell I'm a female. I guess maybe you don't know. Maybe you can't. I'm a retired geek woman. I am a female, and I have a female voice, and I am a female person. So I relate so much better to playing a female character. So I don't know what it would say if you're a male and you decide that you want to have babies. And a new lizard. Oh my gosh, too much news in one day. It's like I'm pregnant and I have a lizard coming. I mean, no, wait a minute. I have a baby coming and I got a new lizard. So I thought about this. I thought, oh my gosh, do I want to go and figure out another lizard name? And the answer was no, I do not. I just want to say hello to the new baby and all the babies and go collect all my eggs. And look at that. All right. All right, all right. Lots of eggs. Iridium quality. Beautiful. Where'd that baby go? Oh, don't know where the baby went. I'm looking for it. And they're really not much difference in size. I don't know. You can't see it. It's in there, though. Maybe hiding because it's scared. Maybe if I got rid of all of those mayonnaise things, I would. There it is. It's right there. So it looks pretty much exactly like the other ones. It's a teeny tiny bit smaller. Just a teeny tiny bit. Isn't that cute? I had seen there was a duck egg down there, so I thought I'd go grab it. So we got lots of eggs, and that was iridium quality eggs. Thank you, duck. And let's go put all these away and then pop those in the mayonnaise jars. So anyway, I'm getting back to how long it had been since I had played that part of the game. And it's been a very, very long time. So it's really been fun sharing this with you because I'm seeing things that I don't have any memory of. If you haven't ever watched an episode before, just kind of know I do have a little bit of short-term memory loss. It's not a huge deal. It's just normal senior memory loss, maybe a little more than my siblings, which kind of annoys me. But I do tend to sometimes repeat myself. So I'm sorry if I do that. So I don't know if I've told you something. And sometimes I repeat myself on purpose. So I'll let you all decide which is which. So we're going to come in here and put our apples in this chest. This is kind of a fruit chest. Would be mostly fruit tree stuff. And eventually we will have all the fruit trees. Right now we have a bat cave that's giving us fruits from trees that we would not be able to get for a very long time. Trees are pretty expensive. They cost a few thousand each, and some of them cost more than others. So eventually, though, I want to have one of each. So we're going to pop down here and, oh, look. We've got iridium quality cheeses ready, people. Oh my gosh, I was so excited when I saw that. So, I mean, wowza. I don't know how many we got there. 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's a quick count, just glancing. So basically what I'm doing is I'm switching them out. I'm putting the gold star in and taking the iridium quality out, and we're going to go pop that in our, I didn't have to go all the way down here. I could have gone from the other side. I'm going to go put that in the shipping bin, and I didn't have enough cheeses, so we're going to pop in some wines. The kegs that have the casks, I think, that have no stars on them, there's wine in there, and it does take quite a long time for wine to process. That's why I want to keep cheeses moving through so that I can get revenue from them. So I like to do cheeses, at least 1 or 2 rows of cheeses and the rest wine, to let those wines go, because they do make us a good amount of money. So anyway, I was very excited to see that. So we've had a very exciting morning already, this 6th day of winter in year number 2. I wanted to pop in here and see Clint real quick. And so we're going to, we had our hoe that was ready. So we've got the golden hoe. So the only next one up on that is the iridium quality hoe. And obviously we don't have any iridium ore. And I don't want to expend the money. But the hoe was very important to get that upgraded to that amount. So at this point, maybe we'll get it by spring, I don't know, but I was very happy to be able to get that upgraded, and it cost a good bit of money, but that's okay. So I'm going to run back to the house real quick and try to hit these. See, I'll do clay. Clay's cool. In fact, we'll need clay eventually, but anyway. So we got another one of those ancient dolls. If I can hit the right button, there we go. And so we've got a bunch of those. Those are artifacts that we've already turned into Gunther, but to sell them, they're worth 1 gold each. I'd rather keep them because I don't know if I can use them for other things. So eventually we're going to have an ability to do sewing, and I think you can use some of those artifacts for that, but I don't know for sure. I've never done it, so we'll see. I've never gotten into this sewing in the game. So we're going to try to run around as much as we can and collect the oak resin that's ready. If I can get to the right tree, there we go. And look at that. All right. We have 3 already, 3 more. So, yay! I was very happy about that. So again, we had a very busy morning. Lots of excitement today. Oh my gosh, found out we're pregnant, a new dinosaur, and oak resin, and got our gold hoe, and oh my heavens. Busy morning. Holy moly. So we're going to put our foraged items, kind of reorganizing my tools. When I get that last backpack upgrade where I've got more stuff, I kind of hang on to all of my tools, and I probably shouldn't do that. I suppose I should leave some of them back, but I guess only if you go mining or something where you're going to be filling up a backpack, or even fishing maybe. But I tend to carry them all with me because it never fails. If I don't, I end up needing a tool that's back at the house. So I just carry them with me all the time. I don't know, just a thing. So the Bat Cave gave us forageables from each season this time. Look at that, and that's funny. I guess it didn't give our fall ones. Those are the winter things. But a lot of times when I come back from the Bat Cave, I have to go into all the forageable containers. So we'll just keep tucking those away. I don't know what we'll use them for. We shall see. Oh, I guess I did have a wild plum. So I got everything put away. Then I remembered that the bear that we met in the super secret forest told us that the blackberries were worth 3 times the amount that they were before. So I went ahead and grabbed 21 of them to put in here. I want to try to have that chest is for my next batch of whatever it is I'm going to be putting in the kegs or the preserve jars or the kegs. So I like to have at least 2 or 3 or more items ready to go. So that's kind of what I have been thinking about that. I'm looking at my various areas here and it's like, okay, what else can we do? What else do we want to do as far as renovations for the winter and get ready for the spring? And I'm looking at the tree fertilizer. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to plant a whole bunch of oak trees because of the oak resin that we need. We need a lot more than we currently have, a lot more. So I want to get some oak trees planted. I think they will go ahead and grow in the winter time, and then hopefully, I don't know if they'll produce or not, that doesn't matter. I need to make sure that I have the tree fertilizer, which makes them grow faster. I think otherwise they take a whole season to grow. I don't know how much faster. I didn't hold my mouse on that fertilizer. I just know that when I plant trees that I want them for something specific, I'll put tree fertilizer on them. And so we're gonna plant a whole bunch of those oak trees. And I'll put, it looks like a little forest right there, and tap them all. And I have a very specific way that I do that, so you'll see here in a little bit. I have learned the hard way that it's a real pain in the neck if you plant the trees and you don't have spaces in between them and you don't have walkways or something in between them. So that's what I'm kind of preparing to do. I'm going to plant a bunch of trees. I'm going to get a bunch of tree fertilizer, and we're going to get some pathways so that nothing grows in between them, or it's really a pain. The reason why I started to talk about that, if you plant trees, trees drop seeds right next to themselves, and you'll end up with a whole bunch of trees growing in between your planted trees. So I've learned put pathways in between, so that's what I'm going to be doing. So I've got a whole bunch of tree fertilizer going on here, and I've got the acorns, and that's the ones that we want. And I'm going to plant 15 trees is my plan here, and that should give us, you know, plenty of the oak resin, because I don't know how often it gives it to you. We'll have to kind of watch that. I don't remember, but I do remember that planting that many trees and making sure that I have plenty of coral collected, and we have other ways of doing that, which will be fun to see in the future, that we'll have more than enough. The gravel path is great for me to put in between these trees. It does take stone, which is fine. We've got plenty of stone currently. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to get enough that I could put that in between all the trees. So that's my goal here. We're going to go start working on this area down here where I know I'm going to be putting these trees. So again, I'm going from my my blueprints of my previous one and looking back and forth and say, okay, where am I putting these walkways, and counting them out too in my head. Okay, I know I want this to go all the way down the side. I know I'm going to be planting a total of 15 trees, so I'm just kind of counting it down here, and we'll get it figured out. And it looks great too on the farm if you look at that blueprint. So we have to kind of and we also have to hoe the area. So, and also, by the way, you can plant a tree and then fertilize it. So that's the order that we'll be doing it in. We'll be planting a tree and then fertilizing it and then moving on. So that's how we're going to do this. So there's the hole. It's for the seed. We're going to put the seed on it. There you go. And we're going to put some fertilizer. And you can see now it's turned pink. That's how you know a tree has been fertilized. You see down on the right hand side on the bottom, there's a seed down there that dropped off of that tree. That's an unfertilized seed, but when you fertilize them, they turn pink. So to make this easy on myself and not go too awfully crazy, I'm just working on the pathways a piece at a time. So I know that there's going to be a seed right there after I hoe the area. So we're going to hoe the area. It's like, okay, where am I going? Put that down a little ways. And we're going to put these pathways in between all of the each of the trees. So every tree is going to have a pathway around it. And you won't see these when they mature. You won't really see the pathways. I just like the dirt ones for that. I don't know why. It doesn't look the same in the winter than it does other time of the year, but I just like the way it looks. And you can see just know I'm going to be going down at least that far. So let's go back up here, and there we go. Do you see? Got a dirt pathway around the entire seed and the entire tree. So hopefully we won't get any drop seeds. The only time you have a problem with this is if you have a thunderstorm, lightning storm, I'm sorry, it sometimes will hit these paths. And it's such a pain in the neck when that happens, because when the trees are mature, you can't really see. So if I get a tree growing next to another tree, I know I've got to come back in here and take my pathways and walk along them and try to figure out where did my pathway get struck by lightning. It's kind of a pain in the neck. It's like, okay, I got lightning rods on my farm. Why is that happening? Don't know. So we're making good progress here. We've got 6 trees planted so far, and again, I'm shooting for 15. So 5 down and 3 across is what I'm doing. Again, putting those pathways right on around. There we go. So that tree's going to have to go right there. That's not going to, unfortunately, it's not going to be in the right path, and I can't remember what tree it is anyway. So we're going to just keep right on working here. And it's a little bit time consuming, but I think it's a cool thing. Cool process, something different. We haven't done this before. I have talked many times in previous episodes about planting trees for the purpose of having oak resin. And today is the day. We're planting trees for the purpose of oak resin. So I'm really excited that we're getting to this point. And you can see this is costing us really nothing. It's just the resources, which you get the resources for free. I didn't buy anything. So I know a lot of people will do that. They will buy resources. I am a non-buyer of resources. By the way, I ran out of my stone walkways. I'm like, no, come on. It's only $7.50. We can make some more. Not stone walkways, the dirt path. I know that when people start running low, like I'm down to, under 300 stone, I'm okay with that. I will wait until I have the stone I need. I will not buy resources just for the sake of time. To me, that's min-maxing. I am not about that. I'm more about doing this organically. If it takes longer, it takes longer. It's okay. It's no big deal. So I just go ahead and do it my own way, and I'm going to keep doing it my own way. So if it takes us a little long and you can't chop a tree down with a hoe, maybe you should get an axe. I hate it when I do that. It's so embarrassing. But hopefully y'all have made the same mistake and I just hit a path. Oh, come on. See, I can't really see what I'm doing. That's the problem. That tree's in the way. The tree has got to go. And it's little seedling too. And I need a hoe. And an axe, I'm sorry, not the hoe. We'll keep working it. It's not bedtime yet. We're doing good. There we go. All right. All right. Look at them. Aren't they pretty? They're all fertilized. All right. Let's keep working it here. So as you can see, building your farm is a process. It doesn't happen overnight. So here we are almost 2 full years into the game, and we've got a long way to go to get our farm looking like we want it to look. And it's okay. We're doing it ourselves, and to me it creates a huge sense of accomplishment. And when I look at my farm, I'm like, I did that. I built it stone by stone, brick by brick, tree by tree, and building by building, and I really love that sense of accomplishment. It really feels that way to me. And it takes a long time if you do it this way. I mean, you can, like I said, you can buy resources. I'm not going to do it. It's not happening. And you can see that tree is right smack dab in the middle of where I want a pathway. It's like, oh. Yeah, I hate to chop down full trees, especially a tapped one, especially if I don't know I can't remember what's growing there. I don't know what kind of tree it is. Because I don't remember. I know the evergreens are easy because they don't lose their leaves in the winter. But the other ones, not so easy. All right, look at that. The last tree has been planted. fantabulous. Now we can go through, and now we need to get more dirt pathways, just a few more. I was running a little bit short, but I am determined. It's only 11:20. It's a little past my normal bedtime, but I want to put away my fertilizer. I had more than I needed, but that's okay. Inevitably, you're going to find I'm going to be using more fertilizer eventually, because eventually I like to have trees for decoration, like behind the house or behind the mailboxes or the shipping bins or wherever. So I will be putting some tree for decoration. But for now, we did get all 15 planted, and that made me excessively happy. I'm looking at my iron bars and seeing, or my metal bars, and seeing which do I need more of, and the answer was gold, so that's okay. So that is pretty much going to end our day 6 of winter in year number 2. It's also going to end our episode. I would like for you, if you have not done so, please subscribe to my channel. It makes a huge difference to make YouTube like me. It makes me feel like I'm doing something that other people find valuable, and I would really want to thank my subscribers, some of you new guys. I just appreciate you all so much. I appreciate your comments, but the most important thing is I want you to have a wonderful rest of your day.